Previously on Super Mario Sunshine.
Hey, that's...
That mustache plumber again of all places!
I found you! Faker!
Faker! I think you're the fake plumber around here! You're comparing yourself to me? Ha! You're not even good enough to be my fake!
I'll make you eat those words! Hello everybody, and welcome back for more Let's Play Super Mario Sunshine. We're going to be starting Bianco Hills with Episode 1, Road to the Windmill. So, anyways, to recap the last episode, we tried to go on vacation, but it was the worst vacation ever because it's gone wrong. Mario got arrested, was put on an unfair trial in a very rigged judicial system, and now is put on community service to basically clean up the whole island, even though it was actually somebody else looking like Mario, as we actually just saw there. And also because the citizens are all fucking stupid anyway. Ugh. If he talks to this guy right here, he says he has a pair of sunshades, but he also says that we're not ready yet, though. So basically what we need to do, he wants us to spend a bit more time on Isle Delfino. Basically what he means is that, I think if you get all the shine sprites, which is what we will, then he gives you a pair of the sunglasses, which will actually darken the screen here. Well, especially because, you know, since the game already looks bright, but more on that a little later, though, because, you know, because I do want to talk about a lot of things here. For, you know, basically how the missions are. So basically, just like with Super Mario 64, they're all basically broken into missions, like, you know, the shine sprites that you collect. The thing about it is, one major difference between this game and Mario 64 is that the missions here are more linear. And so, well, actually, first and foremost, the missions actually, they actually give you a hint on where the shine sprite is, and, you know, they actually give you a better understanding of what you need to do. Unlike with 64, where, you know, basically you're only given the name of the mission, but that's about it. It's only, like, providing with what little hint that there is for what the Power Star is supposed to be. But here in this game, it's actually more, it's more helpful about it, where, you know, where you're actually just given the idea of where the Shine Sprite is, actually shows you where you need to go. So that's actually something I do appreciate Sunshine for. And we got another one of those Petey Piranhas right here, so yeah, same as before. Yeah, watch out for the Goobles right here. That's what these guys are called, the Goobles. They always come out of that goop, and they will try to make the splash on Mario. And you also want to be careful not to touch the goop either, because, yeah, they're pretty dangerous to touch, and you can see that Mario's got quite a bit of mess all over his body. But yeah, what happens is that not only does it slow Mario down, but eventually he does take damage, so you want to be careful with that. This is actually where you can use Flood to just squirt away the goop and just basically clean it up here. And wow, that goop must be so powerful that it actually does affect the terrain on here, that we're just raising this hill, and then this where it connects to the bridge. But there we go. And yeah, if you see that that Mario does have goop all over his body, you can either use the spin jump just by rotating on the analog stick and then jumping, and then Mario does that spin jump, or you can just dive into a body of water and then, you know, just kind of like, you know, basically wash it all off on there from him. And yeah, that's all I gotta do here. Alright, so we're pretty much done here, and I went ahead and started a new recording session because that other one was part of that whole video where the first episode was. But yeah, this is actually where I started here. Anyways, episode 2, down with Petey Piranha. Oh yeah, we're starting right here. Yeah, Petey Piranha's committed a horrible crime, apparently, because he took that shine sprite and also made a mess here. So yeah, we're going to start it right here. That's what the name of this episode is here. But yeah, that's how, you know, that's actually how the game just provides you with hints on where the shine sprite is. So that's actually something I really appreciate. Also, you see how the ground is wet, and so if you actually do the diver here just by pressing the B button, then Mario will actually go and just you know, slide really fast here. You do the same if you actually use Flood and just score on the floor and then use the dive maneuver, and then Mario just go really fast. The control is very stiff though, so it's pretty bad about it too. But you know, but it's also real fun to use. So you know, you know, Mario will just go and, you know, and just go very fast. Basically, it's very exhilarating too. And yeah, watch out for that huge gap right here. So just use the hover nozzle. And you know, using the hover nozzle is really fun though. Now, one thing that they actually took away from Mario 64 in this game is that the long jump is no longer here. Yeah, they actually took away the long jump, which I find really sad though, because I love using the long jump. But that's basically in replacement of Flood. But there's a lot of ways you can do with using Flood, especially, you know, with Mario having much more fine-tuned jumps here, where, you know, his jumps are a lot higher, and, you know, you can actually do a lot of cool ways for jumping. And then after that, you use the hover nozzle. It's really fun to use, I will say that much. And using the hover nozzle is actually one of my favorite things about Mario Sunshine. You know, there's a lot of ways you can do it here. Also, yeah, there's these goop cover piranha plants that you can just, you know, just squirt into them, and then, well, that's actually one way of killing them, though. But to get the coins from them, then they can just, you know, just spray with the with water from flood, and then just stop with them. Also, you see these sprinklers right here. If you make sure you're actually on the position where the end of the sprinkler is right not the sprinkler head though, but that's actually gonna refill refill flood here. So. So anyways, yeah, let's see here. Oh, there's this guy who's just dancing around. If you talk to him, basically all he's going to tell you, he's basically going to tell you about Petey Piranha and that, you know, that you're going to want to deal with him. Because, you know, since he's causing all the trouble, and as a matter of fact, he's just on top of here, so we just got to get the shine sprite from him on that windmill. And there's that, that graffiti of the M symbol, and there's more to talk about that, though. I'm trying to get so much here. Well, I mean, I'll explain more in a bit here, so... So anyways, I do want to talk about a little bit more about the controls here. I didn't even mention the ground pound. To use a ground pound, then you just, well, of course, you know, jump and then you press the L button for this right here. So I basically, you know, talk about how the controls are to those of you who have not played Mario Sunshine yet here. So anyway, so here's Petey Piranha right here. Hi. Yeah, nice to meet you. Yeah. Let it be known, this is actually where Petey Piranha is first introduced, because I know he's appeared in a lot of other games here. He's basically the leader of the piranha plants, and the roof is cracking. And no, it's not really so much because of the way he roared. It's actually because Mario just happened to be on top of it, and because both of them are fat asses, and it actually crumbled. No, I'm serious. If it was actually Wario, then the roof will crumble instantaneously, right then and there. All right, so here we go, folks. Boss fight against Petey Piranha. So basically what we want to do is that, well, what Petey Piranha will do is that he'll try to open his mouth, and basically your key here is that you want to spray water into him. What he's going to do, and he actually does end up doing so, and I actually kind of missed on that one because he immediately closed his mouth. But what yeah, he's doing that right now, where he actually barf up this goop, and then the piranha plant, or the, yeah, those piranha plants will actually start coming out. You also want to watch out for the goobles too, while they come around. What you want to do here is that whenever Petey starts to open his mouth, that's where you want to go ahead and spray water into his mouth here, and then do it enough times, and then he'll swallow the whole thing, and then he'll start collapse down. And then what you have to do afterwards is that you just have to grab pound the belly button, and so well actually you'll see the arrow that will be your cue to do so. And so you know, lather, rinse, repeat. You know, literally it's there. Yeah, well, no pun intended, honestly, but that's all you have to do. So, you know, it's, you know, kind of simple in a way. I gotta say, though, I actually really do love this boss scene here. Like, you know, it sounds intense, but also silly sound at the same time. Especially, you know, either with the drums, or the way the drums are, or the trumpets. You know, the Hoenn trumpets. But yeah, it's like, you know, it's actually, it's a pretty good boss scene. And, you know, I really do enjoy the soundtrack for Mario Sunshine. It is actually the same theme, like, you know, with the Isle Delfino theme, but, you know, for the levels, and, you know, they actually have their own kind of, well, I mean, they're very much the same tunes here, but they have their own kind of variances, and, you know, and they're real good to listen to, so Mario Sunshine does have a good soundtrack here, so, anyway, so that was it for Petey Piranha, and so there's our Shine Sprite right here. So, yeah, pretty simple boss fight, you know, just make sure, you know, to just squirt the water, you know, just, and then down the hatch, and then there we go, and that's all you have to do. And so yeah, not much to say about that one though. But you know, kind of a fun boss fight either way. So, but yeah, that's actually where quite a lot of characters would be introduced, and you know, kind of the rest is history here. But yeah, that was basically the introduction of Petey Piranha. And also, I'll return you this right here. We have some more goops to clean up on this here, wherever that is here. Oh, and yeah, there's a Peach watching us here. I do want to say though, this is actually one of those very few Mario games where the plot doesn't start off with Peach getting kidnapped. Spoilers here, Peach actually does get kidnapped eventually, though. But it's not even a spoiler, really. No. But yeah, this is actually one of those very few instances where Peach does not get kidnapped here. Well, at least the game actually starts off with Peach not getting kidnapped at all. It's you know, for something else entirely, though. As a matter of fact, as of now, then you know, with the recent Mario games, then Peach actually gets kidnapped a little less often, though. Also, some new enemies here, right here. They look a lot like the Pokies. Well, we actually do encounter the Pokies later on. These guys are called the Seedy Pods. What happens is that, you know, if you get too close to them, then they'll burrow into the ground, but then they'll start shooting out their seeds, and they would hit Mario, and then he takes damage. What you want to do is that you want to keep a good distance from them, and then you want to squirt water at them. Then they'll get stunned, and then that's when you get up to them, and you just, you know, stomp on them. So. Anyway, so we have the next episode. It's the Cave's Secret, or what it is here. It's actually where we get to one of those courses right here. So basically, one thing about the courses here is that, unlike with Mario 64 and I guess the other subsequent Mario games, is that they don't really have much variety going to them, though. Like, basically, visually speaking, they're basically all kind of like the same, where, with whole beaches and all that. That's only because, each of these courses we have here, they're all on the very same island. They're all part of Isle Delfino is what it is here. And so, because of that, there's not really much variety going to them, though. There are a lot of landmarks for them as well, so that, could be the one interesting thing. But, that's all there is to it, though. And, it actually does make sense, though, because they're in the whole beach setting. So, of course, there's going to be, not much variety, though. And there's not really much to complain about, per se, though. To those of you who are not really so much a fan here, then, it's probably going to bore you visually, though. But, considering that's all part of Isle Delfino, then, that's, not much to complain about, though, because, it makes sense at least. So, anyway, so this thing right here, so what we just did was that we entered a secret course here. And so every time that happens, then we see that this cutscene where Shadow Mario just steals Flood from Mario, and, well, basically your objective is to just get Flood back. Well, we don't even see it in action, though, but he does get him back eventually. And this is actually what we're treated to as the secret courses. And so what is here, it's basically the platforming challenge is what it is here. So, so Mario Sunshine kind of does break away the tradition, the whole tradition of the Mario platforming because of the Flood. So it's a little more actionized in a way, though. But once we get to the secret courses, and since Flood is taken away from us, and this is actually where we're brought back to the more traditional Mario platforming, or for those kind of sequences. So this basically we have to do is that we have to go through all this right here, but basically without Flood. I know I'm saying basically a lot of times here. I'm sorry, folks. That's another one of those rebel ticks. So what it is here is that you just have to go through those courses right here and get to the shine sprite. So like I said, it's very much a just the closest thing we ever get to more traditional Mario platforming, just by taking advantage of Mario's moves. Yeah, one sad thing about it though is that since there's no long jump, they actually they got rid of the long jump in this game, and then actually makes me miss it though. But there was a lot of ways to go about with Flood here. But with those secret courses, and since Flood is not with us, then there's no long jump. Then that means your guys would just do without here. And because of that, then I guess I think for those people that aren't really much of a fan of the new gameplay in Mario Sunshine, then a lot of people actually like this very much, though. But I will say, going forward, with those later secret courses, then there's going to be a lot of those courses are going to be very challenging too. So just give you a heads up on that one too. But now we got Flood back, and so there we go. As a matter of fact, if Shadow Mario actually just keeps on stealing Flood every time you get to the secret course and we're still gonna bag you really wouldn't think that Shadow Mario wouldn't really just break Flood at all. No, it never really occurs to him. So yeah, I don't know. A lot of elements of Mario games are just always to the challenge for Mario or something like that here. So anyway, so next mission here are the red coins returning from Mario 64. Well, I know technically they were introduced in Yoshi's Island, but here in the red coins actually do the same thing as they did in Mario 64. You collect all 8 of those, and they get a shine sprite. Well, in Mario 64 you just get a power star, but here in Sunshine you just get a shine sprite. But they're the main collectibles, so same thing here. Oh yeah, watch out for these cyclos right here. That's what they're called. These winnie guys right here. These guys are jerks. They're annoying. I hate them. They're assholes. They'll try to. What they'll do is that you'll hear this rolling sound, and then what they'll do is that they'll immediately go right over to Mario and then just knock him away, and cause knockbacks here. And so you'll just be plummeting down here, and yeah, that's one of the more obnoxious things about it. Oh yeah, this is actually this is one of those Pokies right here. Well, they're basically the Pokepods. What you can do here is that you just squirt them with Flood against the wall. You get 3 coins here. And I don't want to talk about this so much right here, but I do want to talk about how the episodes are segmented. So basically, there are a total of 10 shine sprites. Well, 11 shine sprites actually. Yeah, there's a total of 11 shine sprites in each course. So they're basically broken up to all 8 episodes first of all. So they're all 8 episodes for the shine sprites, and then there's also the 3x shine sprites right here. So the first 8 shine sprites are all for just getting the main shine sprites here. Well, for all 8 of the episodes. The 7th episode is for Shadow Mario. Basically, it's just, the whole mission is just, you know, chasing after Shadow Mario. And then the 8th one is basically for, like, you know, I guess whatever kind of bonus challenge is there or something like that. Oh, well, not so much that, though. Maybe some red coins or something. Or something else entirely, though. They just have their own missions. And then the next two of the Shine Sprites are for you going back to the secret courses. There are actually 2 secret courses in total. And they're basically for just getting the red coins. And the last one is for getting the 100 coin missions. Yes, 100 coin missions are back in this game, returning from Mario 64. Except they are much worse here, because in some courses, they are entirely possible to get all 100 of the coins. You have to go for specific episodes for getting the 100 coins. And guess what, folks? The game does not tell you that at all. So make sure you have a guy on standby for if you're going for the 100 coin missions. That's all I can say that much right here. And yeah, I actually cut that one part out because I was actually struggling to get that one red coin. Now, one thing I will say about the red coin missions in Sunshine is that they're actually more segmented. So they'll actually be all found in just at one particular area for that one course. So not like in Mario 64, they're kind of more spread out all throughout the course. And I guess it's because of the larger scale size of the courses in Sunshine. They're actually a lot bigger than the ones in Mario 64. So because of that, at least the developers thought about this and you know, make sure they would make sure to actually put the red coins in one particular area. So they're a little more they're a little more contained or confined in for those kind of missions. That's another thing I can appreciate as well. And yeah, I can actually hear where the shiny sprite is. If you just hear that shiny sound. So, but yeah, that's what the whole thing is right here. Is that, you know, with how the way the shiny sprites are. And so basically the way the Let's Play is going to be is that I'm actually going to be doing those in a more organized format, where, you know, where one video is going to be me getting the first 4 of the shine sprites, or basically the first half of the episode, so doing the first 4 episodes. And then the other video is going to be that same course where I'll be getting the other half of those episodes. And then the third one's just going to be me getting these bonus shine sprites, like the ones secret courses, and also, God forbid, the 100 coin mission. Yeah, like I said, they were already pretty much a pain in the ass sometimes in Mario 64, but here in Sunshine, they're so much worse. Because, you know, only a select few, or certain missions would have all 100 coins. Otherwise, it could be impossible. And also, for you just saw here are the blue coins. Yeah, that's one of the blue coins right here. And to do 100% on, to get all 120 shine sprites, which is what I will be doing, God help me, that means you have to get all the blue coins as well. And there are a total of 240 blue coins, but each course will have 30 blue coins for each of those. And yes, I'll be getting all of those. Oh, God. But there will be more to talk about because we're at the end of the video here. So, anyways, next time on Let's Play Super Mario Sunshine, we're going to do the second half of Bianco Hills and just get the other shine sprites here. So, anyways, until next time, I'll see you guys later.